How's it going, everyone? Welcome to our first episode of Magic Mishap, where magic is askew due to the lack of a goddess holding the weave together, and our party will try to fix that somehow. Um, anyways, let's get into it. The party finds themselves beckoned over to a table where an old man sits. He waits for them to sit down before he speaks. I'm glad that you guys came over here. I need to tell you the reason why the magic of this world is so out of whack. It is because Mistra, the goddess of magic, is missing, and I was hoping that you lot would be able to find her.
Cale Thorne sits stiffly, the chair creaking beneath the weight of his armor. His echo flickers faintly behind him for an instant, like a mirage trying to sit as well, then vanishes with a faint pop. His single good eye narrows at the old man. Cale, missing? Gods don't just go missing. Either she's dead, or she's hiding. He leans forward, knuckles tapping the wooden table like the toll of a war drum.
Vera gives a nervous laugh, a spark of static dancing across her fingertips before she tucks her hands under the table. Sora, you're saying the source of all magic just wandered off? That's like the sun deciding it needs a nap. She grins, but her eyes flicker with fear. Where do we even start looking for a goddess? A book floats halfway out of her satchel before falling back down, thudding softly, the weave twitching around her.
Erin of the Hollow Song doesn't sit right away. She touches the table's surface, feeling the grain, the small bits of life clinging to dead wood. Only then does she sit, eyes clouded with the faint glow of her spore light. Erin, the world whispers her name still, in the cracks in the rot. Mistra isn't gone, she's wounded. She looks at the old man, not directly, but as if listening to something behind his words. Erin, where did you hear this, old one? And what price comes with finding her?
The old man leans forward, careful not to speak too loud over the other patrons in the tavern. I've heard that somehow, someway, someone summoned her and is draining her of her powers and divine essence. I've heard this while I was in Hamlot, the new capital.
Sora's eyes widen, her hands fly to her mouth, but a faint shimmer of arcane light bursts from her fingers anyway, dancing across the ceiling like nervous lightning. Sora, summoned her? Summoned a goddess? That's impossible. Or suicidal. Or both. She leans closer, lowering her voice. If someone's draining Mistra, that would explain the surges. The web isn't broken, it's bleeding.
Cale crosses his arms, jaw tightening. Cale, Hamlot, you said? That's 3 weeks' ride east, through the Dead Lands. He glances to Silra and Erin. If half the stories about that place are true, the ground there still hums with leftover spells. People vanish into thin air. He looks back to the old man. You sure of your source? Or is this just another tavern tale trying to buy itself around?
Erin watches quietly. Her spore light dims and brightens with her breath. Erin, draining a god means touching their soul. The air would taste of ash and starlight. She tilts her head, as if listening to the tavern itself. The fungi whisper that something hungry stirs beneath the eastern fields. Perhaps they dream of Hamlot too. She looks to the old man again. Who was this summoner you heard of? A cult, a king, a name lost to time?
I agree. To summon a god or a goddess is quite the feat. I can only imagine what kind of power this person holds. Not sure of their name, I'm afraid, but I do believe this whisper.
Kale leans in, his shadow crossing the table like a scar. The tavern's light flickers, for a heartbeat, his echo appears behind him again, leaning in the same way, then vanishes. Kale, whispers are better than nothing. Sometimes whispers are all a soldier has before the next battle. He nods once, grimly. If there's truth to this, then whoever's behind it is playing God with the world's lifeblood. We'll find them.
Silra drums her fingers on the table, each tap leaving a faint glow that lingers half a second too long. Silra, draining a goddess would take more than power. It'd take infrastructure, a ritual matrix, containment runes, maybe even relics from the old floating cities. She bites her lip, thinking aloud. Hamlet's built right on top of Iloria's wreckage, isn't it? Maybe they found something, an anchor to the old weave. Her voice softens, barely above a whisper. If we can follow the whispers, maybe we can hear her, before she's gone completely.
Erin raises her eyes to the ceiling, where Silra's sparks still dance. The spores around her pulse faintly in response. Erin, whispers carry truth like seeds in the wind. Sometimes they take root in dangerous soil. She turns to the old man, studying him with eyes that seem to look through him. Erin, these whispers, did they come from a voice? From a dream? Or from something you found?
I've heard them from a vision. Well, heard isn't quite right. I seen them from a vision. And then, as the party looks amongst themselves, he vanishes.
Silra jerks back, the chair scraping across the tavern floor. Her eyes dart to where the old man had been, nothing but an empty seat, the faint shimmer of dust twisting in the candlelight. Silra, oh no, no, no. Not again. Tell me someone else saw that, he was real, right?
Kale stands instantly, hand on his sword. His echo manifests beside the empty chair with a crack, inspecting the space silently before fading once more. Kale, he's gone. Not walked away, erased. The weave pulled him back. He exhales slowly. Which means he wasn't entirely here to begin with. He glances toward the tavern door, scanning for any signs of attention, but the other patrons seem completely unaware that anyone had been there at all.
Erin closes her eyes and breathes deeply. The spores around her rise, swirling toward the space where the man vanished. They shimmer briefly, then fall still. Erin, the air tastes of burnt silver, a soul pulled through its own vision. She opens her eyes, glowing faintly green. The goddess speaks through the dying. Perhaps he was a vessel, not a man. She looks to her companions. Whatever called him or threw him knows we listened.
For a moment, the tavern feels wrongly quiet. The sounds of mugs clinking, dice rolling, and drunken laughter return, as if the old man has never been there at all. But the three heroes look at themselves as they know better.
Kale pushes in his chair, eyes still scanning the space the old man vanished. Kale, if Hamlet's calling us, we move before the trail goes cold. He tightens the straps on his armor. Let's resupply and get on the road before dawn. His echo flickers for a moment at the doorway, as if impatient to leave.
Silra grabs her satchel and nearly drops it as a spark leaps from her palm. Silra, if that was truly a vision, someone is guiding us. Maybe Mistra herself. She shivers. Or something pretending to be her. She gives a nervous grin. Either way, Hamlet it is.
Erin stands last, her spores drifting softly around her shoulders like drifting fireflies. Erin, the threads of fate tug at us. I hear them clearer now. She looks toward the tavern door, listening. There is rotten hemlock, and something buried beneath it.
As they step outside, the tavern doors swing open and the cool night air hits them. The sky above is fractured lines of faint purple light spiderwebbing across the stars, visible scars of the broken magic web. Well, that is all for episode 1 of Magic Mishaps. Well, let me know what you think of it so far.